I'm ascended to the throne. I'm in your head now, making you sweat. Seeing red now, yeah, I'm a threat. Counting rings now, cause I'm a king. Ain't nobody gonna mess with me. Among the greats now, embrace my fate now. This is my time, this is my place. We're making history and this is how it's made. Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! I'm a champion, I got thunder in my bones. I got the crown and I ain't ever letting go. I'm coming for you, there's no escape. Gonna flow, you make no mistake. All eyes on me now, come here the king. Dynamite, let's ignite this thing. Let's go! Among the greats now, embrace my fate now. This is my time, this is my place. We're making history and this is how it's made. Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! This is my time, this is my place in the limelight, cause this is my fate. Every hand that's held me up, every fan that's kept their faith. I'm here to show the world that this was no mistake. We're making history and this is how it's made. Let's go! Let's go! I'm a legend, born with fire in my bones. Raging higher, I'm ascended to the throne. I'm in your head now, making you sweat. Seeing red now, yeah, I'm a threat. Counting rings now, cause I'm a king. Ain't nobody gonna mess with me. Among the greats now, embrace my fate now. This is my time, this is my place. We're making history and this is how it's made. Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! I'm a champion, I got thunder in my bones. I got the crown and I ain't ever letting go. I'm coming for you, there's no escape. Gonna flow, you make no mistake. All eyes on me now, come here the king. Dynamite, let's ignite this thing. Let's go! Among the greats now, it's my fate now. This is my time, this is my place. We're making history and this is how it's made. Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
All right, what's up, guys? What's going on if you are out there? Wrecked. Wrecked. Oh, man. That is so funny. That's actually hilarious. In my defense, I had told someone to change the time. That's so funny, dude. All right. If you are here, if anyone is currently watching live, throw up some comments. Let's have a discussion about the state of triple diamonds and also just the state of the hobby in general. It's been a minute since I've done one of these, and there's definitely some new stuff to talk about. All right, we're going to give it a couple minutes for people to kind of get in here. If you do pop in, just throw up a comment and say hello. Please throw up a comment and say hello if you get into the live. Let's see, how are we looking on YouTube? Well, we got a few people watching. I wonder if the comments are rolling through. No, I'm on live. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's do a screen share. No. Let's see. This is a little bit different. It's a little bit different on here. Because we switched from Restream to OBS. Let me see if I have to grab a different. Well, we can just talk about them. I don't necessarily have to show them. So a couple of the new product releases we have are Topps Chrome Black Baseball. This has always been a really popular product every year. It has 7 cards and features 1 encased autograph per box. Topps Chrome Black is, you know, that same wonderful Topps Chrome design kind of blacked out. I love the card design of Chrome Black. They have some really cool parallels in there, and it really pops on the card design. Also, the autographs are, you know, make up a pretty good chase. This year in Topps Chrome Black, they had some very good signers, including Mookie Betts, which is pretty cool considering we weren't able to get any Mookie Betts autographs until Diamond Icons. Now you can pull his autograph in the Topps Chrome Black. So that just released yesterday. I think we did a case break of it last night. We ripped a couple other cases across, you know, either via in the store or on our other various streaming channels. Another thing that that comes out today is Flawless Basketball. I would be lying to you guys if I said we were going to be selling it on the app. We're definitely not going to. The price point on Flawless this year is extremely high, and I personally don't believe that the return on your investment would be very good. So we are not going to be selling Flawless in breaks. I don't think the YouTube chat is working. Okay, yeah, because I haven't seen any comments rolling in. So maybe let me pull up our live here so I can read comments. Give the video a thumbs up too. Okay, here we go. Chaz Vader. What did Rec do? Totally missed whatever you're trying to achieve. Hey, what's up, guys? There we go. Now I can see your guys' chats. For some reason, they're not popping up on Restream. But we do have an audience, and I can read your chats now. Comments are working now, Chaz. So you can ask all of your comments. I'm going to. Let's see here. I wonder. I'm trying to play around with this and see if I can get it to work. They changed all the So they changed all of the streaming stuff to OBS while I was gone. And now I don't know how to work the new OBS from Restream. How did you, like how the April card should go? Oh yeah, we're going to dive into all of that stuff. And we're going to dive into the Tops Industry Summit. I'm going to put my eye out. Well, we can just kind of go through here on the computer. We can just kind of go through everything like this. It'll just be a little bit clunky on this first one that I do. All right. So first things first, we're going to kind of go over some of the new products. So products that are coming out still in the near future. What? I think I am, aren't I?
No, you have to hit the live button. It's on the studio.
Oh, yeah. Well, the other thing is the chat's not working here.
Which one?
Restream.
Did anybody hit? Why is that not moving at all?
Huh?
Why is Restream not?
I don't know. It's working on YouTube still,
Yeah.
but this isn't. Maybe if I hit refresh, maybe it'll work. Let's hit a refresh.
Okay.
When is the shop coming to West Virginia? I love you guys and all you do. I love all that, man. You guys are great. These are some great questions. All right, let's wrap up some of the upcoming releases. So we have Impeccable Football on Friday. Love Impeccable Football. One of my favorite football card designs. That's where you can also hit the silver bars and gold bars, etc. Always a fun one. Expect to see some breaks of that. On the horizon, we have 2025 Bowman Baseball. We will be doing a kind of a prospect preview. So we'll kind of try and throw that together so that you guys kind of have a little idea on some of the upcoming prospects. But this Bowman product is going to have quite a few guys that are very, very, very good. Jesus Made is like one of the top names in there, and obviously what a fun baseball name to chase. So I have some confirmations for you guys that'll be like breaking news, right? We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into everything from the industry summit here in a minute. So upcoming, let's see here. Upcoming, we're gonna have National Treasures Baseball. We're gonna have Clearly Donruss Football. We're gonna have Immaculate Football. Those are all coming out within the next week. All of those products are fun. O-Pee-Chee Platinum Hockey is going to be coming out. For those of you that like to chase a Prism-esque rainbow, that's going to be your O-Pee-Chee Platinum. That's where they're going to have all the numbered parallels, etc. We're going to be seeing another Live Golf product. We're going to be getting some more Tops football under the Resurgence brand. We're also going to be seeing Flawless Baseball and Select Football this upcoming month. A couple other things that we have coming out is Top Signature Class Football. It's going to be a brand new product, and it looks really, really cool. Kind of excited for that. Donruss Baseball, which is always a classic. Get to chase some really cool inserts there. We're going to have Contenders Football. We're going to have Noir Basketball, National Treasures Basketball. So this is a month that is just loaded with releases, guys. And also I can confirm it looks like the very first 2025 football product is going to be coming out in June, on June 11th. That's going to be the Score Football brand. So that's going to be the first place we're going to be able to chase this new draft class. So kind of exciting to have a new product come out with a new set of guys to chase. So that'll be cool to see. You're gonna run stats on prospects. Chris Haynes, I might have to schedule like a one-on-one meeting with you to kind of go over some of the guys we need to be chasing. Maybe even some of the guys that have bigger upside but are not as highly touted. Okay, so those are kind of some of the products that are coming out. Obviously, Bowman is going to be a huge release. That one we have secured a lot of product for, guys. So expect a lot of Bowman brakes. I think we could dive into next the state of just triple diamonds in general. So this is going to be kind of coinciding with like how we are doing as a business, which right now I believe last month was our biggest month in sales total. That's not surprising because we do have 2 new stores. They're finally starting to gain a little traction in the communities where they're at. So we're seeing increased numbers from both Philly and from Fargo, and then Egan obviously does really well too. So we are kind of setting some new all-time highs and goals, which is really cool. Really neat to kind of see the dream and the passion that goes into this start to come together in these new locations. Okay. I did have a meeting at the industry summit in regards to opening up more stores. Okay. As of right now, Tops is not giving any new stores accounts. So there's no one that is receiving direct accounts right now via Tops unless they already had a deal in place for a direct account prior to, probably the last month, okay? And to be honest, like our Fargo store, we didn't know if we were going to get a direct account. We went ahead with the build out. We went ahead with putting the store together without having an account in place. Very risky. But what do I say? Without high risk, there is no high reward, right? So we opened our store there. We brought a lot of inventory up from Egan, and we sourced a lot of inventory via dealer sites and other card shops and stuff. We opened that store. We opened it with a bang, and Tops has followed through and given us an account for Fargo. So that's a really big thing that we haven't really shared with very many people. But it is something that we want to share with you guys as you guys are our customers. And, we want you guys to be kind of clued in on what we're doing because, you're along for the ride with us. You know what I mean? So that's really some big news. And that also is a contributing factor to why we're, seeing, our best months, right? Yep. So that was the indication with me is I was told that there's a few areas that we were thinking about targeting for a new store. One of them is Woodbury. So Woodbury, Minnesota is a place that we want to target for a new store. I think that it absolutely needs one. There's kind of a gaping hole on the East Metro. And what Tops has done is they're gonna put a block on that zip code and the surrounding zip codes so that no one else can open a store there. We will have the first access when they open it back up for stores to get an account for that zip code. And they have downgraded 60 stores in the last few months, last quarter. They downgraded 60 stores and took away their direct account and knocked them down to prospect accounts. So what that means is as a full-fledged MVP direct account, you receive, pretty much a minimum of 1 case of every hobby product, right? You're going to receive blasters, you're going to receive megas, a case of those. You're going to get a case of the hobby products. And then on the flagship products like your Tops, your Update, your Tops Chrome, that kind of stuff, you're going to see a little bit higher allocation as a full-fledged MVP account. And then a prospect account, does not get a prospect account does not get all hobby products. They're going to get tops. They're going to get Series 2. They're going to get Update. They're going to get blasters. They're going to get megas. They're going to get some of the retail SKUs. They're not going to get everything that a full-fledged MVP account will get. And so for us, you know, we're not going to have a huge allocation for Fargo like we do in Egan, but it's something that we plan to grow over time. And as our relationship develops with Tops, hopefully we can kind of pick up you know, some more inventory from them when there are stops that are not, or when there are stores that exist in this country that are not, you know, kind of living up to what Tops would expect of them. Because it is a relationship, and Tops is trying to build this brand to last into, you know, the future. So that coincides with having a clean and organized space for people to come, warm and inviting, giving good customer service, offering the services like what we do with grading, eBay consignment, breaking, you know, trade nights, live events, stuff that we have kind of positioned ourselves to do early on. I think is a big attribute to why we're finding the success that we have now. So, you know, that's a little insight from the new store outlook. Okay. And we're not opposed to opening up more stores around the country. I would love to sit here and tell you that, you know, my vision for the business is to have, you know, 10 stores spanning the East Coast, Midwest, and West Coast. I think that would be really, really cool. Is it super feasible? You know, we'll take it one store at a time when it's available. I don't think that we can necessarily expand into another store unless we have kind of a greenlit, you know, account from Tops. It just doesn't make enough sense to do that now with the position and the state of the hobby. So, you know, for right now, we're going to rock with the 3 we have. We're going to make them the best. And then hopefully in 6 months, we'll get a more clarification on whether or not we can start pursuing another location. So we had the Minnesota Card Show. And guys, it was the highest attended show. Nothing for the South in that plan. I mean, no, not necessarily. Like, you know, we could definitely open a store up in the South. I don't, and like I say West Coast, I more mean spanning the country. Like, it would be cool to have kind of a shop in all regions. That would be really interesting to me. But when I say, you know, from East Coast to West Coast, I mean kind of all the spaces in between. So anyways, the card show was the highest attended card show that we have ever put on. And we did a few things this year that I really liked. So we added on the Laura Roy Wilkins, and if you attended the show when we had Mike Tyson and Pete Rose and those guys there signing autographs, we had that same space rented, and we had the autographs back there. One thing I didn't like is it didn't seem like the main body of the show really went back there for the autographs. We did have some tables and stuff back there for dealers and stuff, but it just didn't seem like we got enough traffic back there. And so we moved autographs to the rotunda, which everyone has to walk by that space to get into the show. And we put this stuff for selling autograph tickets, the different items, various items that you could buy to sign. We put those in the rotunda, and we had record sales for the autograph guests that we had at the show. It was really, really good. And so I think that we're going to continue doing the autograph guests in the rotunda, just like we did for this show. What we did in that back room is we put a free arcade. So we had, I think, 10 different arcade machines back there, including skee ball, Pop-A-Shot with basketball over the basketball hoop, NFL Blitz, Super Checks, which is like a hockey game. We had foosball, and then we had a crane game. And the crane game we filled up with Triple Diamond T-shirts. We filled it up with Pokemon plushies, and then we had, some packs and stuff that were also mixed in there that people could win. So when you came into the show, unless you walked by them without taking one, we tried to give every single person that attended the show a token to play the crane game for free. All the rest of the arcade games were free. The whole point of doing that was so that we could draw people back into that back room. I got really positive feedback from all the dealers back there that they did really well. They were happy with the foot traffic. They may not have been super thrilled with the kids throwing the skee balls that would, miss the actual skee ball machine and they'd go rolling across the floor. So we're going to do a redesign of the arcade for the next show so that doesn't happen. We can prevent against that. But that worked really well. That was something that worked really well. We saw 10,000 attendees at the show over the course of 4 days, which was phenomenal. There was a lot of money flowing around the room. So, I didn't really hear too many things that were negative about the show. And I can say that we put the fall show up, tables up for sale, and the main room, so the big 100,000 square foot room, sold out. It's sold out. It's immediately sold out. Oh, you're saying for... Yes. Yeah, and that's... Chaz, thank you for the input. So we can definitely make sure that there's more seating and stuff back there by the arcade. Absolute 100%. That's a great idea. Great idea. And I think we plan to expand on the arcade and have some more games and more stuff back there. The whole idea is, and this is me just like thinking about the card show as a business, right? Is you're trying to come to an event that gives you some value. You're paying $15 to park or $20 to park, and you're paying $15 to get into the show. So how can we provide you with value that makes you think, well, hey, yeah, it cost us $15 to get in, but we got to go do the free arcade. We got to see the autograph guests in the main rotunda. They weren't behind some veil where we couldn't see them. All the different various vendors, etc. What we did, Triple Diamond did, I think on Saturday, the main day, we gave out flyers that provided people with $5 coupons for in-store and $15 coupons for signing up on the app for a new account. So we did those things, and the whole premise is to add some value to coming to the show. Like, hey, it costs $15 to get in, but remember, little Brian played in the arcade for an hour, and that was free. So that was cool. Is there a mix? Yes, and so the show, I would say, that the card show was a very good mix of sports and Pokemon. I would say it was 60-40. I still think that sports were predominant at the Minnesota show. And I think that's going to remain the same because these dealers are all re-signing up for these tables, So these sports guys are not going to give up their table for the show. So I do believe that it's about a 60-40 mix at the Minnesota Card Show between sports and, non-sport, which is great. Now, the monthly card shows, they did kind of get overwhelmed with the Pokemon. And so what we've done, and if for those of you that live in the area, we have a show on Saturday that is sports cards only. It's at Canterbury Park. It's a really nice facility. There's plenty of parking. So we're doing a sports card only show on Saturday. And then on Sunday, we keep the tables the same. We swap over the vendors. You could buy your tables for sports, and then you could buy your tables for the TCG show. So we're doing a sports only and a TCG only show at Canterbury Park, and that's this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Basically, from the feedback that we've received from vendors and customers of the show, so people that attend our shows, is that, hey, like, the shows that you guys put on are the best and they're too infrequent. And then we started to get a little bit of complaints from the monthly show that, hey, like, this has really turned into more Pokemon, less sports. I wish there was a sports only show. Well, whoever commented that on Facebook, I wish there was a sports only show, literally put into motion the fact that we're doing a TCG only and a sports only show. Oh, that's really cool, Rect. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so that's kind of where the state of the card shows is at. So upcoming, we have Hobby Clash, which is going to be in June. Hobby Clash is going to be a bigger mix of collectibles. Like, you're going to be introduced into, you know, comics and coins and currency and toys and Funko, and it's going to be a lot more oriented towards autograph guests. And it's the first time we've ever done anything like this. Think of it similar to a con, but with less of the cosplay and artists. Like, there's still going to be space for people that make their own art or make their own stuff like that. But like, I've went to some of those shows, and that's all the vendors that they're there, and then there's like one or two comic vendors and one or two toy vendors. And so we were thinking, like, the toy and the comic vendors and the card vendors and stuff like that were way busier than the artist booths, but the artist booths still are valuable to a show. So what we've done is we've essentially created a show that's more focused on the vendor side, and then the artist side we're doing like discounted tables for, because we know that they're not going to be there to sell as much like the other vendors are, and so that's kind of the premise behind doing it, and then having like more autograph guests. And this is a show that we want to do every year, and we want to grow it. So this first one, it's a little intimidating because it's kind of a little bit out of our wheelhouse, but we wanted to be creative and try something new. And so Hobby Clash is happening, and that's going to be in June. The Philly store was first opening. You guys go live as well as see the Philly store at some point. Oh yeah, I mean, and we should do a live video from Fargo and kind of show you guys what the Fargo store looks like. I love the Fargo store. We put a mural on the back wall. It turned out really great. Like, the store itself has a nice eye appeal. It's bright. It has lights that extend from the front all the way through the back. And we have kind of a half wall built. There's no drop down ceiling, so it's kind of open space above. And we did kind of similar to what Target did, the all glass displays, the all glass shelving units for the wax. So that turned out really, really nice in Fargo, and we should really get some social media stuff out there on that. So Hobby Clash is coming up. Basically, the plan for card shows is we plan to do the big Minnesota show twice a year, spring and fall. We plan to do the Hobby Clash once a year, probably going to be in the summertime. We plan to continue doing the monthly shows up at the Heritage Center because it's on the north side of the city, so a lot of people like being able to go there. And then we also plan to be doing the sports only, TCG only shows at Canterbury Park to kind of cater to the south of the cities. We also plan to increase the Sioux Falls card show. So right now we're doing a spring and fall show. I've had many dealers and many customers that come to that show say, hey, like spring and fall is too infrequent. We need 4 of these a year. We're kind of trying to see how we could make that work. Putting 4 shows on a year in Sioux Falls. And then the Fargo show, we're planning on a spring and fall show. The Fargo show is upcoming. That's going to be at the end of May here. So we have a lot of live shows kind of in the works. There's also another show that we're planning, or at least tentatively, looking at doing. I'm not going to reveal what that is or where that will be located, but it's big. If it comes to fruition, it will be a one of a kind spectacle. Yeah, so a few things. I don't know how everything's going to shake out between Topps and Panini yet. I think the most likely thing is going to be that Panini is allowed to make and produce cards. So we're still going to have Panini produced cards. They're just going to be kind of like what Topps is now, where they're unlicensed. I think that we're going to see Panini and Topps competing for these athletes to sign. Although, we'll see kind of how that all shakes out. I do believe that Panini got, at least for the interim, a few of these highly touted draft picks to sign with them. So in some of these upcoming Panini products, you're going to get autographs from these guys. But I've also heard through the grapevine that they're going to not be re-signing with them, and they'll be end up signing with Topps. So Topps is supposed to take over in 2026 for football, and they kind of showcased some different products and stuff that they're planning on doing at the show. I don't really want to dive too deep into those products, because they did say on the screen that they're not set 100% in stone. There are a few products that are set in stone that I can share with you guys that I think are really cool. One of them is going to be wrestling, so WWE. We are going to see WWE royalty. So just like the UFC that had come out recently, we're going to see WWE royalty, and they are planning on putting the WrestleMania patches into the royalty brand. So that's going to be the home of the WrestleMania patches. Pretty exciting, because these are event-worn patches. So these were sewn onto their uniforms and actually worn during WrestleMania. I think it's such a great idea that Topps has had to do this. It adds value to a product, gives people huge chases. So every single wrestler that participated at all in WrestleMania will have a WrestleMania patch. That's pretty neat. They also unveiled that they're going to be having debut patches for WWE. That is amazing. And those are going to live in Topps Chrome. So the Topps Chrome product that was so popular this year, that did so well, is going to get even better because they're going to be having debut patches in there. It also seems like UFC and Topps are having a really great working relationship, and Dana White is super bought into trading cards and making making this space grow. And so we're going to be getting cards that are dual signed with the boss, i.e., Dana White's going to be signing cards in some UFC products that are upcoming. He's going to be signing them with the different champions and, kind of all-time greats. And UFC is really maintaining good relationships with all of the past fighters. So that's a pretty cool thing to hear from a growing category. I personally don't collect UFC, but I do like some of the characters that come from UFC, and I have had a couple autographs of some of those people in my PC. Also, then WWE, like I think if you're an adult male over the age of 20, at some point in time in your life, you probably watched WWE wrestling, and you maybe had a favorite wrestler at some point in time. I always liked Undertaker, Kane, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, and the Dudley Bros and the Hardy Bros. Like those were my favorite wrestlers growing up. I think that was more of the Attitude Era. But yeah, so I really liked that stuff. So those are some pretty exciting things that are up and coming that I think Topps seems to be trying their hardest to come up with different things to be creative, different chases to put into products. I don't know if you guys saw the Bowman Red. So Bowman Red is a new thing that they're going to be doing. It's actually a pretty cool idea. So within Bowman, you're going to have rookies, right? And if the rookie symbol is red on the base card, that is redeemable for $100 Fanatics cash, Fanatics fan money, right? But they have a whole bunch of different various things with those cards. So you can redeem them for that. But if they go on to win an MVP or a Cy Young, the money goes from $100 to $300. Okay. If they go on to win Rookie of the Year, it goes up. If they go on to have a Hall of Fame career and you hang on to that card long enough to where they get inducted into the Hall of Fame within 10 years of retiring from professional baseball, you'll be able to redeem it for $1,000 Fanatics cash, fan cash. So it's just like another kind of thing that they're putting into a product of, I don't know how short printed they're going to be, but like it's giving a purpose for a base rookie, right? It's basically turning some base rookies into some money that you can spend on, merchandise that you want to wear or support of your favorite team. And to me, like any little bit of value that we can give back out of some of these products is going to be good for you guys, the consumers. Yeah, Chris, and maybe this thing flops, but it's the fact that they're putting forth effort to make this better or to give people a little extra incentive or chase or whatever you want to call it. I think it's good for the hobby, and like I'm all for it, I like the fact that they're seemingly trying to do different things. Like look at the introduction of the Taco Fractor. None of us knew what the Taco Fractor was going to be, right? We didn't know. And you could win Taco Bell for life or Taco Bell for a year. It's like $10,000 worth of Taco Bell. That was really cool. I think that was a letdown of what we kind of thought it might end up being. But I still think that like anytime that they can do these extra little chases and stuff in there is really huge. And, they announced that they're going to do a bunch of follow backs in some products coming up. So, you pull a card and it'll have a follow back from that. from that player. That's neat. So a redemption for, Shohei Otani to follow you on social media. Pretty cool. It's a pretty neat thing. So, we've had Topps Rip Night where we had Kevin Hart come into our store. That was from Topps. We had Fanatics recently give us a bunch of items to give away on Fanatics Live. That was really cool of them to do. So I mean, they are attempting to give back bits and pieces to the hobby, and I personally have never had Panini do anything like that. So, props to Topps for trying to do better than what their counterpart has done for the last how many years. Yeah, Chris, so Tarek, myself, and another shop owner were discussing some things, and we came up with an amazing idea, and like, hell with it. I'll just tell you guys what the idea is, because then if it happens, you'll know that it's because of us. We gave this information to them, and they literally said that is the best idea that we have heard in the last 48 hours, which means that out of all the shop owners and all the breakers and all the people that were there, they thought that this idea was really, really cool. Whether it ever happens or doesn't happen, that's on Topps. But we talked about if we know that there's a player on a retirement tour, your Kobe Bryant, your Derek Jeter, whatever, let's get a retirement patch on their last jersey. And let's put that into a card. They obviously haven't done it. And we know a lot of these guys kind of say, hey, this can be my final season. So we'll see if they run with that. I think it's a great idea. What are your thoughts on getting more FOTL products? So we have a commitment to the brands that we carry, that we will not open product early. And we are not technically supposed to do midnight breaks. I wish we could. It's a great idea. We did it in the past, and we kind of got our hands slapped a little bit. So yeah, we're not allowed to open products early at midnight, which is a little bit of a bummer. And the people that do that, they're not allowed to either. And what will eventually happen is they'll get their allocations trimmed, and we'll be the benefiters of them getting their allocations trimmed. Yeah, Chris, I agree with that too. Yep. And that's another thing that came out of the industry conference. So that came out of the industry conference is I verified that we will have Inception Baseball for 2024. 100% it's coming. I also verified that we will have 2024 Platinum Anniversary. It's going to be the 1954 Topps design, the kind of the horizontal. I believe most notably Harmon Killebrew rookie year. So we are going to get Topps Chrome Platinum Anniversary, and we are going to get Inception. And I pleaded with my account reps to give me more than everyone else, because it's two of our favorite products that we do the best with. So just an FYI, I brought it up and I got the confirmation, and it's probably going to be later this summer. So unfortunately, we have to wait for a while still, but we will be seeing those products make their return. And Robo, first off the line, I'm all about getting first off the line. There's a few things we've learned over the years with first off the line is sometimes the first off the line products are not better than the hobby products. A, they cost a whole heck of a lot more. B, and C, if we rip cases and cases of first off the line, we have found that sometimes moving the hobby product, it becomes a little bit more difficult because people kind of already had their way with the FOTL. Now, mind you, I do like FOTL, and there are products that FOTL makes sense to get. So what we do is we look at what is hobby pre-selling at, what are you getting out of the hobby, and then what is the extra bonus to getting FOTL, and then where does that FOTL sell out at? Because ultimately, like, I don't necessarily want to get a box of FOTL that should sell for $700, but it sells out on Panini's site for $1,200 because people are using bots to purchase all of it, trying to drive up the market. So that's why we don't carry every single FOTL SKU. And then sometimes there's just like, sometimes like the FOTL hit that's in there just does not justify the extra 150 or 200 or 250 or $300 that you would pay for the FOTL box versus the hobby box. It just does not make sense. You know, a lot of the FOTL products will say comes with an RPA or whatever, and that's the hit. Or maybe it doesn't even say RPA. Comes with an exclusive autograph numbered to 25, and then the box sells for $250 more. And I'm going, well, hey, like the top quarterbacks, they don't even sign in here. You're not going to get Jaden Daniels. You're not going to get Bo Nix. You're not going to get Drake May. And that's why the products are priced a little bit higher, is because of those guys, right? So sometimes it just plain doesn't make sense, and that's why we choose not to carry it. Sometimes it does make sense. Like I believe in the Optic FOTL product because the color that comes out of there's more color that comes out of a single box. And also you also get the out of 17 parallels, 2 of those, which is really cool. And you get an auto, and out of the FOTL Optic, we are seeing bonus autos in every box. I think you're more apt to find a numbered case hit out of the FOTL. So there's a few things there, and that's kind of the reasoning behind the FOTL, and also why we are not able to do the midnight releases. I wish we could. It's super fun when we get to open a whole case at midnight. Let's see here. I'm pretty sure I went through almost every... I think I went through pretty much everything that I wanted to go through. So I'm going to open it up. If anyone else has any questions, we'll give it like a couple of minutes here, and I'll shoot your questions some answers. Will you bring back free or even a discounted local pickup option for the eBay? That's an interesting question. I'll have to look at that. I'll definitely have to look at that. That's a very good question. Maybe that's one that you could ask me on the next show, or the next State of the Diamond, and I should have an answer for you on that. I do believe that if you purchase a bunch of different things on there, you can combine them. But I'm not as keen on what we do for eBay consignment as I probably should be. So that's a very good question. I'll have to look into that a little bit deeper. So I think that Gold Bar as a repack. I believe that they're the best. Okay. I don't I think you'd be hard pressed to find someone that makes a repack that puts as much time and energy and effort and thoughtfulness into A, how it's designed, B, how the showmanship of unveiling the cards and stuff, goes into them, and C, the value. So what I can tell you is most repackers are buying, they have people going around to these card shows and they're buying at 90% or 95%, right? Then they're packaging their product and they're tacking on 30, 40% on top of what the comps would be of the cards that they sell. I.e., meaning if you purchase their entire run of repacks, you would generally pay, you would lose quite a bit of money, okay? You would lose 40%, 50% of your money if you purchased an entire run of their repacks. That's if you purchased all boxes. What we have done is we're pretty strict on what we pay for when we're buying cards. I have a whole network of people that I've been buying sports cards from for years for repacks. And I buy typically at 70%, sometimes 80%. But, we try to stick around that 70% margin. That is because then we can put the repacks together and give you guys the value that you deserve, On the private reserve baseball boxes that I made, that I don't know if you guys have ripped any in here, but the private reserve baseball boxes I made were at 94%. Okay. That means if you bought every box, and also I will say I put some cards in there that were questionable on their comps. Like they could be definitely more money than what I put them in there as a value. Some one of ones and stuff like that I think I undervalued going into the product. But 94%, guys, that means that if you bought every box and you had the comps that I had put those values on those cards into it for, you'd maybe lose 6% of your money. That's phenomenal for what it is. Okay. Obviously there has to be people in order to hit a $2,000 card out of a $5,000 or $500 box, there has to be $100 cards. That's just the way that they work. To have the upside, you have to have the downside too. And the product designs, as you guys have seen, like we keep putting out new designs. Buzzer Beater is new. Gridiron Kings is new. We have a new baseball one that's going to be coming out. We have a new high-end one that's going to be coming out. We have the piggy banks. We have the private reserves. We have, when there's a special occasion, a special event, opening day, we did opening day. When we have, the NBA finals, I have a repack specifically for the NBA finals. When we did the Super Bowl, we had a repack specifically for the Super Bowl. I loved doing the tiered cover cards. I don't know if you guys, what you guys prefer, if you like the tiered cover cards or if you like the non-tiered cover cards. So we kind of switched it, for the standalone products, the Buzzer Beater and the the football one and the baseball one. They're not going to have, baseball one could have tiered cover cards. I'm not really sure how we're going to do that yet. But the reason behind doing the tiered cover cards in my eyes was so that when you guys get the box opened up, it's part of the mystery. Oh man, dang it, I got a loose change. Oh, look at that, we got a rare coins. You don't even know what the card is yet. So it gives you 2 wins or it could be 2 losses, or you get a loose change, and then you see the card and you're like, wow, actually, you know what? For a loose change, that's pretty good. It makes you feel like you won a little bit. That was the idea behind the tiered cover cards. Okay. It was to have an extra layer to the surprise of opening, because when you open up a box and there's the card, it kind of takes away from it, I think. Now, the non-tiered cover cards is fun too. Kind of leaves it a little bit more for interpretation on your guys' end of, okay, well, that's really sweet. I don't know if I got my money back, but I love that card. Or, wow, that has to be like a killer card. Like, I definitely did well. So what I can tell you is that we have a full-time person here that works on social media, graphics, different various things like that. And we're constantly designing new repack stuff. I believe that having new designs, coming up with new price points, all of those things just helps the success of the repacks, and it's exciting for you guys when we unveil something new. So let's see here. With that one as well. That one as well. Change my buying habits when pickup ended. Okay. That's good. I'm gonna learn. I'll figure out some more on the eBay. I promise you that I'll get some more clarification. I think we could bring back local pickup and have it be free. It's just that we had some people that would really take advantage of it, which is why we kind of stopped it. You know, they'd go on and they'd buy 180 cards, guys, 200 cards for $1. They just buy every card that they'd go on and see any card that didn't have bids. They'd go and just put the dollar bid on there. Then they'd get free pickup, and they'd show up the next morning and be like, "Why aren't my cards ready?" And it was like, "Well, dude, like you just paid for them last night or this morning," and then we'd have to have an employee go and pull all those cards. It might take them an hour to do. You know, and A, the customer that consigned those dollar cards lost. B, the customer, you know, we had to have an employee spend a lot of time pulling them. So that was a little bit of some of the frustrations behind doing it. But I will have a bigger conversation there. There are surprisingly few good repacks out there. TDS is among the best in that game. Appreciate that. I don't mind paying for shipping on some of the cheaper pickups I get on eBay, but I'm normally a cheaper buyer when it comes to cards, so default shipping hits the pockets as a bit. 100% agree. And there's people that weren't abusing it. There were some people that were definitely abusing it. What would it take to get the hockey gold bars to live outside of the breaks? Just a lower starting point or getting the inventory for it? I think the inventory is a big issue. So hockey collectors just generally don't seem to want to sell their cards. It's really odd. I very seldom have people bring in hockey cards that want to sell. So I try to target hockey cards when I go to a card show. That's one of the things I target. I try to purchase hockey cards. So I think like there is a place where we'll have them live outside of breaks. We wanted to put them into breaks because we thought that it would help us move some more hockey product as well. So you know, it's kind of like we make these little things, or we do these little things to try and mix things up and see what works, what doesn't work, and sometimes it works for a while and then it doesn't work, and so, you know, we're always open to ideas from you guys too. Have you thought about presenting a checklist for the gold bars? Maybe not a full one, but a portion of it. So, you know, there is this design that we have made. I don't have one handy here. There's a design that we have made that actually started the entire repack thing, and it's an acrylic case. It's going to have gold bars within it, 18 gold bars, and we are going to do repack breaks. And we were going to maybe show a couple of the chase cards from that case. Like, it was an idea of doing that, but it was basically the cards in that case we're going to have higher value, right? And so we're still kind of playing around with the idea. Like the problem is we can't all agree on one thing. And I think I had the original vision for doing it, and so now we're just trying to figure out how are we going to do it. Is it multi-sport? Is it individual sport? Is it do we utilize piggy banks with it? Do we make a new repack specifically to pair with the vaults? Do we put the vaults keys into piggies and private reserves? Like there's a lot of different things, a lot of moving parts going on there, and we're trying to figure out how to do it right. So that's something that it's like a game changer. It's like another extra layer of fun for you guys. I think the tiered appears better, and the blank ones especially when you don't exactly know how big the card is outside of the player on the card. Cool. I love the feedback. We're talking about it, but have you thought about doing a higher end gold bars? Maybe doing it once or twice a year. So we will have a higher end gold bar coming soon, and I can give you a sneak peek of what the name is. I'm not going to show you the box design, but it is called the Treasury. Still playing around with price points, but it's going to be at least $1,000 per box. Yeah, I want to do the repack breaks, and I want to make them. I want to make an event of it, right? Because it's not something that we would just run one after another, after another, after another, after another for that until the end of time. It would be like, hey, on the first of the month or the first weekend of the new month, we're going to be doing Break the Bank. And we're going to do this, every month. We're going to be doing Break the Bank or some adaptation of what I have envisioned for it. And then that way it's not like over and over and repetitive and gets old, but then people can have something excited for that. They're like, oh yeah, I can't wait. I'm going to get into that Break the Bank. Here's a few things. Okay. We have done Whatnot. We did it right away. We got off of it because we just really didn't like. We didn't like the culture that they have on there, and then against probably our better judgment, we went back to Whatnot and started to do it on there, and I think we had a little bit of success, and then we got back off of it. It's really tough with the way that people's schedules are here to have like, hey, this room's going to be open for X amount of time, and we can have guys in there for this. It's really tough. And the thing about Whatnot is like, in my opinion, like, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm thinking of it wrong. But it just seems like the culture that exists on Whatnot doesn't align with what I want Triple Diamond's culture to be. So like the whole premise of Whatnot is to get people to overpay on auctions for stuff. Like if they weren't trying to get people to overpay on auctions, they would have fixed prices like what we have, right? And then you see different various things like scams from bigger companies, and they prove that they did something nefarious. And in my eyes, like, hey, if I caught an employee stealing one of your guys' cards, I'm buying that card as a replacement for you, and I'm terminating the employee, and I would probably try to figure out how did this lapse happen and how do I put a system in place to keep it from happening ever again. Okay. Now, sometimes things happen like when you're sorting or whatever. And that's why we have cameras over all of our stations. in our shipping and sorting department. And we have cameras on over all of our shipping and sorting stations. That way we can reference back to them and kind of see how they were sorted. And a lot of times we figure out where the card went. We figure out, oh, hey, you know what? It got missorted onto the team pile right next to it. And we have minimized our sorting and shipping mistakes massively within the last 6 months. And then, so I don't feel like Whatnot vets the sellers. They just allow anyone to sell on there. And what happens is like, okay, Robo, for example, we go on Whatnot and you trust us because we have done right by you, and you come and buy from us on Whatnot, and we promote you to come over there and buy from us on Whatnot. But then you end up in someone else's live stream, you spend money with someone else, and those people don't treat you the way that you should have been treated, or they scam you or whatever. Well, who's kind of partially responsible for that? And guys, I'm not saying that everyone is bad on Whatnot. I really am not saying that. But there is enough bad stuff that takes place there that and I'm not saying that we would never go back to it, because I don't want to put my foot in my mouth, okay? I just don't like, there's a lot of negatives, okay? There are a lot of negatives on there. Agree with the culture. I am repulsed by Whatnot. I really do enjoy what you guys are doing with the gold bars and focus on the high-end product. Are you also planning on events promotions for the low-end products to get newer folks into the stores? Yeah. Also agree that the Whatnot culture is different from what you guys are trying to build. I think the reputational risk is not worth the return with Whatnot. I mean, again, like, I'm not perfect. I'm not a perfect human being, guys. I have made millions of mistakes in my life. And some of my business partners have too, and some of our employees have. I mean, everyone's made mistakes, but honestly, like, I try to do my best for you guys. So all of our customers, like, I try to do the best I can for for you guys, right? And so, like, I just feel like the morals and the culture that we're trying to build here is just different than what Whatnot's culture and morals are. So, that's one of the big reasons, and I've been so hesitant the entire time about Whatnot. We ended up going on there and trying it, but it's just, we stopped it. We decided to focus more on our own platform and Fanatics Live and on TikTok, and I'd like to keep growing those spaces. Yeah, Robo. I mean, I see that side of it too. I see that side of it too. Like, sometimes you can get really good deals or bargains. But I think that a lot of the sellers on there, Robo, are disingenuous in what they're selling you. Okay? These guys, when they're hyping these big repacks up, like, I watched a seller, okay? This is just an example of what takes place there. I watched a seller, I'm not going to call them out by name. I watched them advertise that the average pack value, so the average value in the packs was $1,750. Okay? There's 100 packs. And they have some chasers that you could get golden tickets for. Okay? There are chasers where you can get golden tickets. Okay? Mind you, all of these packs are not on camera. You can't see them. Because there's 100 packs, they have them off to the side, right? So they have 100 packs, and the big chaser is, like let's say it's I can't remember off the top of my head. Let's say it's a $25,000 card. Okay. Average value is 16 or 1750 per pack. The floor is 500, right? I watched 100 packs get opened. Okay. And they're going nuts over cards that I am repeatedly comping at the same time. It's a $500 card. And the packs are selling for $3,000, $2,800, $2,500. So they're going way above what the average is. Okay. Nothing but floors are coming out. And so it became apparent to me that they did all floors in the packs, and then they had the 10 golden tickets, and the 10 golden ticket items would have cards that were above the pack value. Okay? Here's where I don't agree. If they're not all displayed on camera and you're not randomizing the packs, you're allowing people to choose their pack, what's to say that I don't have Josh or someone sitting and giving, he wins one and then he gets one of the golden tickets. Do you understand what I'm saying? So like they could very easily have the 10 golden ticket packs sitting there and off to the side and just know that they're giving it to right straight to whoever. You know what I mean? And so now they're fleecing people. They're giving $500 cards out and selling them for $3,000, guys, and they're advertising a false narrative. And then they're not. Who knows if you're really even getting, if a consumer is really actually getting a golden ticket and winning one of the top cards or prizes. And then who's to say that they're not running up? Who's to say they're not running up the auctions to make sure that you pay more money than what it would sell out for? The whole idea of running auctions like that is kind of gives me the creeps. The only time I would ever run auctions, like when we do it on Fanatics Live, the only time I'm running auctions, I know I'm going to lose. It's just literally so that we can break whatever product it is that we're trying to break. I already know that it's going to sell under. The auctions very, very rarely ever go over what the actual cost would be, unless there's someone that's driving it up. And that's what happens on Whatnot consistently. It is consistently, the stuff is selling for higher than what it should. Over and over and over again. If it was selling for way under, these guys would be going out of business. Okay? There's not some great profit margin built into these products anymore. Like it doesn't really exist. You could benefit from a product going up, but what Topps does is they give us product in waves. First wave is the best price. Second wave is market value. Third wave is market value. So by the time the product comes out, if it goes up $100, Topps is going to raise our price to, $20 or $30 less per box than what it sells for. If it's a $500 box, the second wave price might be $460. Third wave price is probably going to be $500 if it's still selling for $500 or $525. I think one feedback I have about the breaks you guys post is that sometimes take forever for them to fill. Like example, the choose your player. Will you think about ways to have breaks fill up faster? Because I know that can be frustrating for people. Yeah, and I mean maybe the pick your player breaks are something that we get rid of on here. And we've been talking about utilizing email campaigns and bringing back using SMS targeted text messaging. as a way to try and fill these up. So there's definitely ways that we can, try to get more engagement on the breaks. I do agree. I hear what you're saying. I think that what we have here is we have a constant trough. Okay. So we always have a couple football breaks, couple baseball breaks, couple basketball breaks, a hockey break, non-sport break. We try to have pick your team case, maybe a pick your team, couple boxer, a random team. We try to have all these different things because it's a little bit of like a something for everyone kind of approach. And we found that when we cut it down, it doesn't necessarily make the breaks fill faster. So that's why we kind of keep so many variety of breaks up. And like, it's a fine line. I get like a lot of people like the instant gratification. They buy a spot into a break, they get to see that break rip, within a couple hours of buying the spot. So I definitely feel that, like, and I think the main approach that we as a shop need to go after is like, hey, get your, if you want to see these breaks filling up faster, if you have collecting friends, let them know about TDS and how we run our business and the kind of people that we are here, and get them to come over and spend their, shop with us, do their breaks with us. I think, customer acquisition is probably the biggest part of making these breaks fill faster, and that's why we do all the card shows, and that's why we do all these things. Fillers is definitely a way to kind of maybe get some more, movement. And I think we did some fillers on the big tribute break. We tried to steer away from fillers when we went with the app, but we might have to use some fillers to kind of fill them up quicker. Yeah, I see what you're saying, Rack. I mean, all of those things are viable and good options. I don't have like the best answer. I don't feel like. That's just me being honest with you guys. Yeah, Robo, we definitely advertise a lot. We definitely advertise a lot. We're very well known. We have a pretty large, extensive customer base. We have a huge amount of local pickup people. We have the breaks on our live TV every day. So customers that are coming in, we kind of explain to them what breaking is. There's lots of excitement when the cards are getting opened in the studios. People like to watch. I think that it's realistically just expanding on new customer acquisition, and that's via, like, at the card show we handed out flyers that give people $15 break credit for downloading the app and creating an account. Since then we've added, let's see here. I'm gonna log out and go home. Since then, we've added this. So now, if you're not signed in, or you're not, or you're new, you're a new collector coming to the app. When you create an account, you're automatically going to get $15 credit when you make your first purchase. So it automatically goes into their break credit, and it'll be taken off their first purchase. So that's us dedicating $15 to every single person that creates an account on our app for free. Yeah, Robo. So we did do that. So we have Eagan, Minnesota. We opened up a store in Bensalem or Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And then we also opened up a store, which is about 4 hours from here, in different state again, Fargo, North Dakota. So those are, that's another thing that we did to try and expand our brand, right? And realistically, I think that we need to kind of get back to adhering to a break schedule. I really like when, and this is something I need to train all the breakers on, okay? We don't have to schedule a break. So the idea is, if we go on the app, the idea is to have an available carousel like this, that are breaks that won't have a live at X time. They'll just be there, and they'll be the trough that you can go and grab spots in, and you don't know when they're gonna break yet, because we don't know when they're gonna break. And then the idea is to have a whole nother carousel that's scheduled, that just has scheduled breaks. And then what we would do is we would start pulling breaks from the available. So pulling the breaks from the available and moving them up into the schedule, and we know they're going to break. And then that would come back to us committing to, hey, we're adhering to this break time. TDS will close it if it's not full by the break time. And then I think we're also going to attempt to get a carousel made for the diamond rewards. So these would be in their own carousel. And when those drop into their own carousel, the plan is to add a ton of stuff into the diamond rewards. We'll have prizes at all levels, $5, $10 prizes up to thousands of dollars prizes for reward points. Okay. So that's kind of a little bit of insight of what we're doing. This is a big thing that I don't think anyone is utilizing yet. And man, I'm not logged in. So let me sign in once. I do truly believe that getting you guys involved in Hobby Talk, okay? All these messages are from me pretty much. Hobby Talk, Sports Talk, talking about what's going on, in sports. Hey, do you guys think that the Wolves have what it takes to win the finals, and why? Like, if you guys that are diehard, you guys are here, you guys are watching what we're talking about right now, you guys could help me so much by getting involved in these community chats. And then basically this is peer-to-peer stuff. This is how you community build. Like, yes, we have it going on YouTube, but this is a chat that lives forever. It doesn't go away. So these chats in these rooms, I think, I love Rect is commenting there now. I think that the chats in the community feature on the app are very community building, and that's how you get a lot more people to be more involved with the braking and stuff. We've even talked about getting a buy sell trade room, which I can add that. If people would have interest in a buy sell trade room in here, we could make that within the app. You can also message. So I can search. I don't know if Robo's name on the app is Robo. I can search Robo, and now I can say, Bing, I just sent Robo a message. Hope you're having a great day. Okay? Community features on the app are going to be huge for the app. There's other things that we're planning on bringing onto the app that I think are going to also help, like achievements, unlocking achievements. And when you unlock an achievement, you get X. You know, right now our main chat is on YouTube. I think like ultimately it would be better if the main chat was watching live on the app, because on the app when you're watching live, let's go home. So we're going to click on the State of the Diamond with me. You know, right now our main chat is on YouTube. I think I'm going to turn this down. I'm watching live here, right? Well, while I'm watching live and I'm reading the chats, I can click on open breaks and I can go, what break do I want to buy? Or do I want to get into a new spot? So I think like migrating the chat more over to the app would be probably better for everyone in terms of filling up more breaks. All right, I'm gonna catch up on your guys' comments. You guys shot a ton of comments at me. Is there a spot in the app for personals? Or is that only available on the website? Perry Pickups, it's available on the website. There's not a good way to do it on the app. Also, we have really, really fantastic rates through Shopify for personals, so we keep the personals there. That's something that we're going to be working on here in the near future is aligning what our in-store inventory is with the website with Shopify. There may be a way for us to switch completely over to Shopify for our POS in-store. That would allow us to have literally every single product that we carry in the store listed on our website, which would be, I think, huge. All right. Speaking of the app, go grab your spots in the Chrome Black PYP. Let's do it. Have you considered content that is not just breaker in a chair? What about a podcast of your in place? Yeah, so if you follow us on Instagram and TikTok and stuff like that, you'll see that we're starting to put out a little bit more content. Today we just had our social media marketing and graphics guy in the store, and he shot a few videos with Josh while I was doing this. So you're going to start seeing more content that's based around getting to know the employees, getting to know myself, getting to know, new products that are coming out. One of our ideas is on TikTok is a product that's releasing, opening a pack live on TikTok, creating a video of it with a link to purchase, right? I think part of the issue with Chris is the break uploads clog up the YouTube feed for the channel. Or posting videos on YouTube or TikTok that aren't just a breaks recap. Yeah, so I think that coincides with doing short videos, short reels. We do have plans to have a guy that's what he does. He does social media content creation and stuff, coming in, let's say, on a weekend, on a Saturday, Sunday, and shooting hours of footage and then chopping that stuff up into smaller videos that we can then put out there. Need to share more about you and your culture. Yes, absolutely. It's so on the main page of the app, it does say community right in the bottom. Right there. So it is one of the hard icons on the front page of the app. What I will do is now that we're talking about it, I'll make a social media announcement, and I'll also push an email campaign, kind of pointing that out. On Android, I don't even get a notification if I get messages or community, since it's on the sidebar and there isn't a tab at the bottom. That's interesting. You might have to show me like a Robo, log out of your account and re-sign in and see if it pops up. Do you guys have things like QR codes, promotional materials for shows, a code that leads to that? Yes, we do, Rect. We use them on flyers. We have them on banners. I would say if you ever come to one of our shows, you'd be like, damn, Triple Diamond put this show on for sure. I'm like very like anal about putting out like our logo, our branding everywhere you look. So there's like not really a space that where you're walking around the show and you don't get a little subliminal Triple Diamond. Would it shock you that we have over 1,500 accounts on the app? I think that's pretty cool. So from the show, from those flyers, I think we had over 100 new account users. Can you send me a screenshot, Robo? Send me a screenshot. That will help me figure out why or where it lives on your phone. Honestly, Randy needs his own labeled repack. Randy's Revenge or something like that. That dude is always hitting. That is what you see. Did you try logging out and then logging back in, Robo? That's very interesting. And when you scroll down to the bottom, I'm going to get on the YouTube so I can take a screenshot of that. Because I know that once you sign out and sign back in, that's when the app kind of updates on there. But you could also possibly check and see if in the Play Store there's an update that you have to do. Yes, Rect. I have confirmation that we will get 24 Platinum Anniversary, and we also will get 24 Inception Baseball. So we're going to get both of those products. Robo, let me know if you end up signing out and signing back in. And are you currently using the mobile web browser, or are you on the mobile web browser, or are you on the actual downloadable app? Maybe go to the Play Store and check and see if there is an update. Where was it? Just underneath or what? Okay. Good. I just wanted to make sure because I was like, I didn't see any orders or anything, and I was like on the computer last night. Okay, that's good. Josh's favorite food is pizza or pasta. Did they post content on Instagram? I wonder if he did. I gotta go look now. Oh yeah, the staff spotlight. Here you guys go.
All right, I am Josh Hunsaker. I'm a breaker at Triple Diamond Sports. I've been here for just a year, actually. I just started a year ago, almost today. It's been just a tremendous experience. I love working here. The environment's great. So if you haven't ever come to the shop, I would definitely check it out. All right, my favorite sport is baseball. I am also a huge basketball fan. My teams are the Lakers and the Dodgers. Favorite food? That's a tough one. Depends on the day for me, but I'd probably say pizza or pasta. My personal best advice for collectors is just collect what you like, because that's what I do. I collect Lakers, Dodgers. My favorite athlete's Bryce Harper, so I collect what I like. I recommend doing the same thing.
So we are going to be doing this now. This is going to be something that we're going to be doing all the time, and we'll even bring Josh back and we'll ask him new questions. And we're going to do it for all the employees here, including the people that you guys probably aren't as familiar with, staff that are in the back, as long as they're willing to kind of be on the social media. There's no update in the Play Store. I'm on the downloadable app. Maybe, Robo, this is just me. I have a very limited tech knowledge, but maybe you could try and actually uninstall and then reinstall and see if it pops up then. If it doesn't pop up then I know I've tried everything that they would recommend me to try right away, and I will contact the app development team and see what's going on. Yeah, show and tell is great. That's a great idea. Let me write that down. I love that. That's such a great idea. TDS show and tell. Oh, that is money. Love that idea. 100%. That's something that we're gonna have happen. Should do a pick a product once a month or so, and let a breaker give away a box of their chosen product, obviously within a certain cost limit. That's cool. It's a cool idea. Pick a product giveaway. One thing that we are considering, and this is just me speaking out loud, obviously, there's certain products that maybe move at a slower velocity. Pick a product, Gibby, on app. There's oftentimes products and things that move slower. Okay. So I'm kind of thinking about making up a product that's the value box, the value product, the value whatever. Triple Diamond's mystery value crate. And what we would do is we would put some of those products that we just want to move and kind of get out of our inventory at like our cost, just move it along, rinse and repeat. But that would give you guys like a lot of value if you bought one of the mystery value crates, because that box might retail for $150 and you're getting it at $100 value. Have you thought about doing some giveaways on the YouTube channel? Yes. Okay, Robo. So I'll reach out to Steve. That's our app developer, and I'll check with him and see what's going on there. Can you send me an email with what phone you're using? Yeah, I've definitely done giveaways in YouTube, and we used to, do the free break. I'm pretty sure we still do the Sunday Fun Day, and I do think giveaways would be a great thing to add. It just has to be right, and like and be honest, like the stuff that we gave away in Fanatics, a lot of that was Fanatics, giving us dollars to do those giveaways. And so like when I'm giving you guys stuff away in YouTube, that's really from just wanting to give back to you guys without an ulterior motive, you know? Maybe we need to make the free break a little bit better. Maybe we make a free break a little bit better and we try to entice people to get in to our free break, and that's a way to kind of welcome people in. I think that, like Chris, the $15 app credit for anyone that's new that creates an account. We haven't advertised that yet on socials, and we have a humongous email list that we haven't sent that out to yet. So that's something that we're going to do very soon. I think that's really enticing. Like, moves the needle for people. I get $15 for free. I can go get a $25 spot in a break and pay $10, and maybe I hit a big card, Yeah, that was a fun one. Wrecked. That was a fun one. I mean, like, I try to find a work-life balance where when I'm at home, from the time I leave the store and get home until my wife and son go to bed, I try to focus my attention on them, to the best of my ability. And then if I have enough energy, I try to get in and watch on YouTube and comment in the chats and stuff like that, and interact with you guys. And I could do better at that, and the other guys could do better of that too. Chris, help me. Help me make it happen, Chris. I love it. I think it's a great idea. I mean, that's what we're striving for. In-store customer base has been phenomenal. It's been really busy in all of our stores, foot traffic. We've sold a lot of Pokemon. We sell a lot of Pokemon. We're very well known as a Pokemon store. And we also have, we carry most hobby products, as you guys know. There are some different things that we're going to be doing in store, some different in-store branding, and probably going to be making some updates to Egan. So trying to kind of make Egan feel different, so that if you haven't been in here a while and you walk in, you're like, wow, look at what these guys did here. You know, I think that that constantly changing things excites people. I know some people say that change scares people off, but I think that when they go into a retail store and it's different, and the layout's different, or whatever, as long as they're still able to kind of navigate the store, and that's with proper signage, a layout that allows them to flow, like that's the type of stuff that we're looking at. And we're looking at like using, getting much heavy-handed with vinyl graphics to kind of, show people the way. So we have a lot of stuff that we're working on. Not trying to hurt anyone's feelings. Okay. I'm going to get a curveball here. I like it. I like the tough questions. I don't mind. I don't dodge the tough questions. Honestly, this is one of the best. I had to push this from 10 to 11 because we have our marketing meeting, and I thought that was what the original time was on the app, and I realized this morning it wasn't. So that's why we kind of postponed this to 11. But like this has been so great and wonderful from you guys, like being in here and participating. Yep. And that,
Anniversary and Inception's happening for baseball?
oh yes,
Direct inform me. You didn't tell me.
yes,
That's exciting.
it's breaking news
That's exciting stuff.
because I don't think anyone else knows about it. I was asking the Tops development team, and I'm like, look, we crushed those
Yeah, that's
products
like one of
hard.
my favorites. And then so football next year? No, football. Yeah, football next year. Basketball this year.
Basketball, the license gets obtained in October.
Dude, that
And-
dynasty. Oh, this will be sick.
Yeah, and so we'll start getting some licensed basketball.
So we won't have any more Prism probably, huh?
Wrecked. That's something that like we try to make sure that all the breakers are attentive and interacting with you guys, and like I think that's from my standpoint is a training thing. So like make sure that people are on task and focusing, and I'll kind of let everyone know and give them a reminder that like their job is to do exactly what I'm doing with you guys right now, okay? And that is being here for you and answering your questions and sitting here and talking and giving you guys information and making it a show and making it so that you feel enticed to come back next time I do it because you want to know what's going on, and you want to be involved. Like I used to break. I know what it's like to break, and I think that like the best breaker can carry a conversation with themselves. So the best breaker can carry a conversation with themselves, but they should also know that when there's downtime and there's like at the start of this show today, the comments weren't working. I wasn't seeing any comments. And so I said, you know what, that's fine. I'm just going to start talking about upcoming products. I'm just going to start talking. And eventually one of you let me know that the YouTube chat wasn't working. And so we got that straightened out. But I was just going to continue to just carry on with my presentation or what I was going to talk about, regardless if you were here, because you're going to be able to come back and watch at a later time if you're not available to watch. Of course, Rect. He knows that Adam is great. Okay. Adam works very, very hard, and he understands that he gets sometimes sidetracked and funnels out of his studio and to do something or to help someone or whatever, and he knows that. We've had many conversations about it, and I think that's just again like just a continuous for us to continue to train up the guys, the breakers. Okay, we don't want to leave them stranded on an island where they don't feel like they can ask us questions, and we want to keep improving them and making them better. There's a few ideas that come to mind, like having some, sales courses that we make them take, or seminars. There's a lot of different things. Yes. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, it's always had a delay. I think that one thing that the other break channels do the house why I stream is dynamic is that they usually have more than. Yeah, and that's something that we've talked about, is having dual people in the stream, and I like it. I think it turns more into like a podcast or whatever you want to call it. You're really just having two people having a conversation while also having a conversation with you guys. It just, from a cost standpoint, A, double the payroll, right? And then B, we do offer some commission here based off of sales, and that would then go against their commission unless they're increasing their sales volume a lot. Okay. So I will take all of that stuff into consideration. I will take all of that into consideration, because I do like the dual person show. I think that it's a good way to get people to watch. They're there listening to people have a conversation. So I do agree. I would like to say, though, I personally don't believe that you need two people. Okay? Some people might need two people, but I don't think that you need two people. I don't need a second person with me if I was breaking. But I do see where you guys are coming from. Absolutely. And Robo, when we hired Trent and Cody, we hired them to be a tandem. I swear to you. The whole point of hiring Trenton and Cody was to have them work together as a stream. Well, Cody is still on a payroll. Yeah. That's not necessarily true. He did take another job. He felt that he wanted to go back to what he was doing as a career, because I'm not going to reveal why, but he had his reasons for it, and he still wanted to work here as well. So he is going to be kind of still with us. Well, Chris, you guys have really given me maybe some added fuel for the YouTube. You gave me some added fuel. Maybe we try it here on YouTube on the app. Maybe we try it here first. No, Rect. He's still working for TDS too. We are waiting for him to give us his like true availability before we schedule him. Zach is still with TDS. He didn't want to do the live streams anymore, and so he ended up going over to our warehouse and helping with eBay consignment. Hi.
Sorry about your loss, brother.
That's why you came in here?
Full court, half court, child support.
That's hilarious.
No, I can grab these.
Chris, I like it. So we'll look at that. It's going to create some issues scheduling for sure, but we'll look at getting an additional member for the TDS app and YouTube, and maybe that'll make a big change. You know, it's very possible, right? I think it's something that if we do it though, we have to commit to it for a while to kind of see how it works out. You know, it's not like you can do it for a week and it didn't really add anything and go away from it. I think it's something that we're gonna have to stick to for maybe even like a full quarter of the year. It was the TOPS industry conference. Robo. Yeah, I get it. Well, that you guys just gave me some really great perspective. There's some really good ideas that came out of this. You guys gave me some good feedback and perspective. I love it, and I want to continue to do these State of the Diamonds. I know the last one before this one was quite a while ago, but if you kind of look at what we had going on over the last month, you know, with the card shows and the industry conference and Easter and stuff like that, there wasn't really a good time for me to do it. So I wanted to do it today because of the industry conference and to go over the card show and everything else in between. Absolutely can. It's been great. Should also provide them with talking points or things to discuss at a high level. Yes, Chris. And I've actually done that in the past. Don't know if it if it truly works or not. I mean, that's the whole point of them, like screen sharing and going over checklists and checking out different products and talking about sports and stuff. Like those are things that we've you know, tried to instill into the breaks and stuff. So just leave it right there. Cool. Well, we'll see what we can do. We'll work on these things. We're committed to becoming the best. That's the goal, right? We're going to be doing some tweaks to PSA 2 that maybe I'll save for the next Triple Diamond State of the Diamond Q&A. But there will be some tweaks coming to how we do PSA that are going to be better for you guys as well. I think it's going to be 54, 55. Yeah, it's definitely the horizontal design. Absolutely, Chris. Absolutely. I definitely agree. Yeah, this is great feedback. And to be honest, like, I think I'm going to make every single one of our employees and breakers come and watch this video. Like, this is good feedback for them to hear too. Like, it's not just for me to then go back to them, but it's good feedback for them to see, you know, some of the things that maybe frustrate you guys, because ultimately we just want to be the best and we're committed to being the best. So, you know, that's what the goal is. Love it. Oh yeah, so we're exploring that. We actually had a really a meeting yesterday about that. So in store we use the POS system Lightspeed, okay, and we use Shopify as our online store, and then we have the app. Um, I don't foresee the app being home of our personals. I just don't see it happening. But I do see maybe a transition from Lightspeed over to Shopify and then using Shopify POS in store as our inventory management, being able to upload every single thing that comes through the doors into our store inventory management and having that also dupe up onto the website. And so that would link the actual inventory counts that are on our website to the store levels that we have, minus when a breaker grabs the last box off the shelf for one of the streaming studios and doesn't tell anyone. That's when you'll have the instance where something might oversell. Yep, and this is part of that, Robo. What we're talking about right now. It's part of it, and then we're we're also looking at something else that's really cool, and that is electronic tags for in the store. So, electronic tags would be up-to-date pricing. So, being able to adjust pricing from one location. So I could literally have one person's job be to run through all of the products that we carry on Monday of every week and update all pricing so that it's the most current and up-to-date pricing. Yeah, like electronic barcodes and pricing for the products in the store. So instead of right now, we print out a sticker, right? We put it into a plastic holder and put it on the shelf, next to the product. These would be electronic tags, essentially, that if Tarek is out in Philly and he notices that, hey, the price on Topps Chrome went up or down, he can adjust the price in the system and it would automatically adjust at all three locations. The repacks are solid, I think it's kind of tough. I mean, how do you advertise them? One thing that we've added, okay, which I think is really cool, is now there's a quick button that they can push, the breakers can push. So when they hit a bigger hit, or they open up a repack and they pull a big card, they do these things, right? They can press a button, it'll automatically clip the last minute of the stream. So, oh my gosh, look at what we pulled. I can't believe it. This is amazing. Congratulations. Clip. It does the whole lead up of opening it and everything. We can then crop down those minute videos and make reels, and we can share those. So that's something that we are trying to do. So the floors are always pretty much guaranteed. When we say that there's a floor, it's the floor. The ceiling, it gets a little muddied, but it's never going to be under what we have said it is. It's usually typically over. Like the other day, Buzzer Beater, for example, we've said I think has a ceiling of $1,000, and I put like a $1,700 card in there. But I also made that product to where it was like even. You bought all that whole run of Buzzer Beaters. You bought them all. You would have been even money. Like, obviously, you have to have winners and losers, but like, there's times when we do that. Like, people are not doing that. Yeah, Robo. That makes sense. Really wants, it might be worth them buying the repacks. Yes. Yep. And again, I think the biggest selling point of the repacks ultimately is the fact that it's a mystery. Okay? I really do. I think it's the fact that it's a mystery. And that's why when you see us do a run of piggy banks or a run of private reserves or whatever, there is not a set amount of cryptos. There's not a set amount of rare coins or gold bars or private whatevers, property deeds. The reason being is we change it up all the time. It keeps it fresh. It keeps it new. You never know what to expect in the next box. You know, that's really what it is. Yeah, the Eminaga sale was amazing. Like, congrats to the owner of that card. Guys, like this video. I only have one like, and it was from me. I'm the only one that liked this video. You want me to keep doing more of these? You guys gotta show me some love. We did a repack break. Then you could do chase advertisement. Yes. Showcasing the horns. And that's one of the things that with the repack break, like, if we do this and you guys can get behind it and help fill these breaks up and we get more people involved, I think you're going to see those repack breaks take off. I'm not saying adding one or two into a couple boxes of regular hobby product. I'm talking doing an all repack break, 23 boxes, and having a big mixture of whatever. Tell me to hit the refresh. I love it. I love it, guys. Oh, we're up to 6. Okay. It made me feel good about myself now. Yep, I think the repack break would be a random team style. I believe that it would live in a multi-sport category, where you would get a random team combo. I believe that it would have something similar to piggy banks. Let's say 20 piggy banks or 18 piggy banks, and then maybe 2 or 3 vault pulls. That's kind of the way I envision it. So that would be around 20-ish to 22 hits, somewhere in that range, 20 to 22 hits. And what that would do is basically, hopefully quite a few people get cards, and maybe they hit, there's gonna be floors like imagine us building 200 piggy banks, right? This is just me spitballing here. Imagine us building 200 piggy banks, and we run 20 piggy banks per break, repack break, mixed with 2 or 3 vault pulls. Okay? And you run a random team format multi-sport break. There's a chance that you get rare coins, gold coins, gold coins, gold coins, gold coins, silver coins, silver coins, silver coins, loose, and then the 2 or 3 of the big pulls. There's a chance that you could get 20 loose change and the big pulls. Well, then the next break might be better because holy crap, do we pull a 20 loose change? Like, this next break's gonna go crazy. And then my thought process behind it is you make it so that it's $200. Okay? You make it so that it's like $200 a spot to get in. It's a high buy-in price. But for that cost, it's like the same cost of buying a piggy bank, and you have the chance to hit multiple cards. There's 20 packs that are similar to piggies in there, plus the three really big ones that you could potentially hit, a crazy card out of. Yeah, so we kind of like, I would say it's a mix between me, Tarek, and Mike, and then we do some like localized marketing, like sports teams, and then all of a sudden, and then all the card shows. I want repacks and PYTs if I'm being honest. I get why you guys don't like it, but it's not like anybody knows what's in them. So the problem with repack pick your teams is like, how do you price it? You'd have to make sure that every single team is represented. Okay? So you'd have to make a really big run. You'd have to make sure that every team is represented. And then you'd have to price it based off of the hits. It just really, honestly, it just doesn't work. Like the only way to do it would be to throw a fresh piggy from a whole run of piggies into a multi-sport break, and just add split the cost of the piggy amongst all spots. Robo, to be honest, we kind of have Mike who does like our social media stuff and graphic stuff, and he's helping us make videos and all of the design and stuff like that. And like we have him hired. He's also one that helps design our repacks, like stickers, like T-shirts, all that stuff. And so we haven't really thought of hiring someone to be just dedicated marketing, but like it's probably not a bad idea. You price it accordingly with the product and divide the 3 piggies among 30 spots. Isn't splitting product costs among all spots kind of point? Okay. Well, yes, it would be, but like there could be teams that are just drawing dead. That's the problem. So it's like with the pick your team break, like there's a chance that I make a whole run of buzzer beaters and there's no Utah Jazz. But the person that buys the Utah Jazz spot would like to at least have a shot at hitting one of the gold bars, right? And I'm not saying that it's not every time that you can represent all NBA teams, because it's hard to buy cards for certain teams or cards of the quality of that we want. Yeah. So the trivia, I love the trivia thing. I really love the trivia thing. That was one of my child. It's my idea. Love the trivia thing. I'd love to. When we make private reserves, we'll throw some more trivia and stuff into them. Trivia is kind of tough. Like, takes a lot of extra thought, and I kind of want trivia to live in the private reserves as of right now. There may be a point where we add trivia into piggies or into the other various repacks. A lot of times we do give true skunkers something, whether it's stickers or a pack or whatever. I can't guarantee that it's every time, but there's a lot of times, like if someone buys into a break and they get absolutely nothing, and when we go to do our shipping for the week, we look and they're like they totally skunked. We're still planning on shipping them something. We'll ship them something. We'll throw a pack in or whatever. You know, Robo, you're probably not seeing packs like that into your shipments because you have so much stuff going in your shipments, and I don't know if it moves the needle for you to get a Hockey Day pack because there's not a whole lot in them, but at least it's a gesture of like, hey, thank you for purchasing and playing. Designing a bunch of new stickers also for people that work here. So the goal is to have like stickers for all of our customer facing employees that we can throw those out into people's packages. You keep Alex making gold bars. That's funny. I mean, the repacks are really good. They're a good value, guys. I couldn't be more open with what we do with them. We try to create very good value for you guys because I think that keeps you guys coming back. So the repacks are great. It's good value. There's upside in them, you know, and even the ones that have the ones that aren't money back necessarily, you know, we try to kind of choose our floors to be a card that's like, okay, well, even if I got this as a floor, like I'm pumped. Or even if I got this on the floor, like there's a chance that it could be graded. Or there's upside in the player. Like there's a lot of thought that goes into it. So, I mean, we do get the higher end product. And like we do try to run some breaks of them, and we will. Flawless basketball, we're not going to do breaks of flawless basketball. I just the price point is astronomical for it, and I don't feel like outside of hitting a logo man, like you're gonna have a tough time kind of getting your money back on those guys. So. Yeah, like robot truthfully, we got 3 cases of flawless basketball. And I like every year we'd run national treasures. Like we've tried running like diamond icon, you know, doing diamond icons, definitive, transcendent. We do all of the high end product, but flawless is a tough one. I'm just being honest. That's a tough product. I like the value, the ROI on national treasures more than flawless. Flawless this year is crazy. It's crazy expensive. All right, guys. I think I'm going to cut it so that Josh can get in here and get started with his day. To be frank, like there's certain products that we don't necessarily want to sell to you guys because the ROI is just not good, and it's just I don't necessarily want you to skunk and spend thousands of dollars in skunk, you know? Like optic football, you get into a break and you skunk on a couple $100 is a little bit different than like buying a $1,500 team and skunking. And flawless is not something like, you know, it's what, 10 cards? So that's kind of the reason why we don't do a whole lot of flawless. We always have flawless. Robo, and if you ever want Flawless or something like that, feel free to hit me up. Like I get all that product. I'd be happy to sell you Flawless. I just for brakes, like you might get one person that does okay, and the other people, kind of skunk, and it's just kind of tough. That's a tough goal of it. Really appreciate it, guys. Like I said, this is us showing our commitment to you that we want our business to be successful, but we also want your guys' input on how we can get better, how we strive to be better. This helps with our creativity because you guys give us feedback that like instantly we can trying to put into action. And as a business owner, like I want you guys to have your finger on the pulse of the business too, so that you know kind of where we're heading and how we're doing and everything else. I will attempt to fix the YouTube chat delay. Right? Oh, so is it really, really behind today? Because I see your guys like comments and messages are rolling in like very well, and so maybe it's been very delayed for you guys, but for me, I'm just like reading your stuff and rolling with it. But that might be a testament to you guys that have just been, coming with the questions and stuff. So really love it. It's one of my favorite things to do. It's like seriously, just getting in here, sitting down and talking to you guys. It's great. This is normal. Okay. Well, we did switch from Restream to OBS. And so maybe we can figure out how to get to where there's no delay. Oh, you're saying, okay, just to YouTube itself instead of using, yeah, we do use Restream still. Sorry, excuse me. I keep thinking Streamlabs. We are still using Restream. So you're saying if we streamed instead of trying to simulcast to Twitch and Facebook, which I don't even know if we have a whole lot of viewers that watch on those platforms anymore, to be honest. Maybe it would make sense to just stream to YouTube because it would be easier. I've oftentimes wondered what if we pick up any viewers from those other platforms anyways. I know we used to have someone that would watch on Twitch a lot. I've seen them in the YouTube chat. What's up? Yeah. Only person who's super active on Twitch is Raver Rusty. Yes, Raver Rusty is active on Twitch. Because of Twitch being less delayed. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to look into that. That's another...
I was looking at that last night.
Hand me that note right there. That is another very good... It's another very good idea. So...
Is that Restream messed up?
Yeah. I've had to watch on
Weird.
YouTube for it.
Weird.
Well, it's probably something you guys can fix in 2 seconds, but I'm just...
Yeah,
I
no,
have
I'm saying like, yeah.
I have no
Let's just say
clue
we're
with,
fine last night.
especially with OBS. Like I don't know OBS at all. I've never used it. Well, we could try that YouTube thing. That might be better for you guys then.
It's just trying to get all that stuff on there. Like the scenes and transitions.
Well, and another thing, guys, like I'm just saying, This is just me speaking freely with you and candidly. There is no lag on the app chat. Okay, you guys are choosing to watch on YouTube, which is fine. That's okay. I know it's change is a hard thing, but when you're watching on the app, there is no lag on the app chat. That comes in immediately. And freeing up the Facebook for standard social media stuff. Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
Create like
Oh man, the information that's on this, I want every single one of you breakers. You have homework is to watch
breaker.
homework
Breaker.
to
Alright.
watch this State of the Diamond and read the comments because there's been so much feedback on here. It's great.
Hey, next for sports, we should have a
Video
we should have
feed is
watch
still
parties
from
for
Restream.
Minnesota
Yep.
sports. You should see me and Cody going live last night
Oh, the delays
during the
on your end.
Timberwolves game.
Yeah,
Me and Cody.
yeah, I know.
Big Rudy.
They were laughing at you guys on here today. All right, guys, I'm gonna end this so we can kind of get started with our day.
Josh seems lost out there.
Man, really appreciate you guys. I'm gonna put it over to the intro, and thank you guys so much. What we know is that Trent and Cody is a pair.
Yeah, I'm telling. I'm gonna if I get scheduled breaking shifts, I'm gonna try to convince Simon to come in.
Thank you guys very much
Get the move.
for coming in and watching today. And this is probably the best State of the Diamond that we've had. And I'll see you guys soon.
I'm a legend, born with fire in my bones. Raging higher, I'm ascending to the throne. I'm in your head now, making you sweat. Seeing red now, yeah, I'm a threat. Counting rings now, 'cause I'm a king. Ain't nobody gonna mess with me. Among the greats now, embrace my fate now. This is my time, this is my place. We're making history and this is how it's made. Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! I'm a champion. I got thunder in my bones. I got the crown and I ain't ever letting go. I'm coming for you. There's no escape. Gonna flow you. Make no mistake. All eyes on me now. Come here, the king. Dynamite, let's ignite this thing. Let's go. Among the grace now. Embrace my fate now. This is my time. This is my place. We're making history and this is how it's made. Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! This is my time, this is my place in the limelight, 'cause this is my fate. Every hand that's held me up, every fan that's kept their faith. I'm here to show the world that this was no mistake. We're making history and this is how it's made. I'm a legend, born with fire in my bones. Raging higher, I'm ascended to the throne. I'm in your head now, making you sweat. Seeing red now, yeah, I'm a threat. Counting rings now, cause I'm a king. Ain't nobody gonna mess with me. Among the greats now, embrace my fate now. This is my time, this is my place. We're making history and this is how it's made. Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! I'm a champion, I got thunder in my bones.